Hello, Feuzion. My name is Alex Fuse, the host of Fusion News. Today is March 2nd, 2017, and we have a huge show planned out for you tonight. I am on the phone right now with Ben Heller and JP Feyersien. Sorry about that. Both New York Yankee pitchers, as the Yankees also defeated the Baltimore Orioles tonight, and they moved the Yankee record, the spring training record, to 7-1 tonight. So, guys, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Thanks for having us. It was another good team win tonight. A lot of
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of fun with all the young guys in the lineup.
Mhm. And that leads me to my first question for you guys. This team is such a young team, and everyone's calling you guys the baby bombers. So what is it like, the chemistry between you guys behind the scenes in the locker room, hanging out outside of the George M. Steinbrenner complex, and just being great teammates?
Yeah, I think it's just an awesome group of guys right now. It's a really fun atmosphere. We got some older veteran players who've been around, have a lot of experience, and then a bunch of younger guys who are, right in our same age group. So the older guys have kind of taken all of us young guys under their wing and, shown us how to make the adjustments at the big league level, kind of, showing us how to handle ourselves off the field, and then you have your younger friends who you get to go through the whole process with. So it's a lot of fun for me.
I mean, for me, it's the same thing, especially you get to see all those guys and how they go about their business, and then just being around them every day and watching them and being able to pick up on what they do. And then, I mean, like Ben said, going through it with a lot of your friends and a lot of your teammates that you've had for the past couple of years. I mean, for us too, being traded, it wasn't our teammates that we came up with, but I mean, for me, being in Trenton last year with a lot of those guys and being able to play with them now it's a lot of fun.
Mhm. And a lot of fans may not know this, but you guys were traded in the same deal along with Clint Frazier in the Andrew Miller deal. So what was it like coming over from the same team to the New York Yankees and are still very good friends to this day?
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the trade and everything, it was great, and then just kind of for both of us, I think it was easy to come in. I mean, we're surrounded with a group of great guys and great teammates, and I mean, it's still baseball. You're all on the field trying to win one game every single night, and I mean, it's easy when you have such great teammates on and off the field.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything he says. I just want to add, it's always kind of funny because we're always referred to as the last two pieces of that trade, and rightfully so. Obviously, Sheffield and Frazier are two phenomenal players, and they project as being leaguers, but I think we both agree that, we kind of taken a little personally, kind of, play with a little extra chip on our shoulder because we want to show everybody and show Yankees fans that, we're going to be valuable pieces of the team as well. So, with that being said, we're super excited to be here and we've loved our time with the Yankees so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now of course this is spring training. So how long does it take, how long weeks does it take to get back into that same routine that you guys, have mid-season? This is really a hard time. You're just coming back from the off season into spring training. So how long does it take to finally get back into that rhythm of being a major league pitcher?
Well, I think for both of us, the off season isn't really a time to just relax and let go. Obviously, you want to, take a little bit of time away from baseball, but the game is so competitive now that you have to use the off season to, get stronger and improve your arm strength and work on new pitches. So, um, I personally, I'll take a couple months off of throwing, but during that time, I'm still lifting weights, I'm stretching, and then I'll start my throwing program usually around early December. So it's a gradual build up to get to where I'm at now. But by the time I, got into spring training, I feel like I was almost game ready. I had built up my arm strength. I had worked on everything I needed to work on in the off season. So spring training for me is just a time to go out there and perform and compete.
Mhm.
I mean, for the same for me. I mean, you don't kind of look at the off season as an off season. It's more like a training season is what I would call it. And for me, it was a little shorter this year, being at the fall league and getting done a little bit later. But I got a little bit of time off and then got right back into working out and throwing. So when I come down here, I'm already ready to go. And I mean, they give us like 3 or 4 bullpens while we're down here facing some of our own teammates before we jump into games. So I mean, when you get those 3 or 4 chances to face some hitters, yeah, you get to work on your stuff in those outings. And then once you get into live games, adrenaline kind of takes over because it's the first couple outings of the year. So yeah, you get going and you enjoy it.
And this question will go first to JP and then on to Ben. What are some of your expectations for this season heading into this big year ahead?
I mean, I would say that if you ask anybody in the minor leagues that hasn't made it to the majors yet, their goal is to make it up there into New York and help the team win in any way they can. So, I mean, that's kind of my expectation for myself. Just try and pitch as good as I can wherever I'm at, wherever they send me, and hopefully maybe get a chance to go to New York and help the team out there for the season.
Yeah, kind of building off what he said. Getting that taste of the big leagues last year, there's nothing like pitching in a major league game, and obviously, pitching for the Yankees and helping contribute to the team winning games is the ultimate goal. My personal favorite memory from last year was when I came in the 12th inning, I believe it was, against the Kansas City Royals. I think it was my 3rd or 4th appearance, and I ended up throwing a scoreless inning in the 12th, and then we scored a run, and Betances came in the next inning and closed it down. That to me, I just felt like I actually played an important role in winning that game, and you can't really beat that feeling. You're contributing to a team win. So I want to continue, contributing as much as I can to helping the Yankees win games, and hopefully we'll both stay healthy and be able to help lead the Yankees to the playoffs.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier in the show today that you guys, there's been a lot of guys around the spring training complex, guys like Alex Rodriguez, Nick Swisher, Derek Jeter showed up for an appearance. And you also have guys in the locker room like CC Sabathia, Aroldis Chapman, and Brett Gardner, both who had a lot of experience winning the World Series, of course, for Chapman last year. Do these guys like to give advice and talk to you guys to really try to help you build up that, really great experience build for you guys for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I think, there's not a single guy in that clubhouse who isn't willing to share everything they've got. And, I think it's kind of on an individual basis. It's up to you if you want to go and seek out that knowledge and kind of pick their brains a little bit. But I think it's probably foolish not to. You have some of the greatest players in the game currently in those, star players that you've mentioned. And then you have Hall of Fame guys, whether they're coaches or former players. There's just a ridiculous amount of baseball knowledge around the clubhouse right now. So I think we both like to use it as much as we can and try to pick guys' brains and soak it all in. Because it's not every day that you get to talk to people like this. So you got to, enjoy it for what it's worth and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, going off what Ben said, you'd be absolutely foolish not to try and learn something from somebody who's been in the game for 5, 6, 7+ years. I mean, just trying to crack it and get our cup of coffee, and those guys that had everything and learned and been through everything. So, I mean, when you get the chance to try and talk to those guys and pick their brains and just learn how they go through certain situations, it's always an opportunity to get better. So, and I mean, we're on the same team as them, so they're trying to get us better because they know that maybe sometime down the road we're going to help them out and maybe get them out of a jam from them teaching us. So it's always great to learn from those guys.
If you had a chance to sit down and talk with anyone that played baseball, maybe a former coach, former athlete, Hall of Famer, to just talk baseball with, who would it be and why?
Go ahead.
Me?
If you
I would probably want to talk to Mo. I mean, Rivera. I mean, as being a relief pitcher, and I mean, you could almost you can go and say that he's probably the best closer of all time. I mean, if not number one, he's number 2 or 3. And I think it would just be an amazing experience to learn from him about the stuff that he went through in his career, and just all the experiences that he had with World Series and playoffs, and just the guys that he played with, and just being able to pick his brain on that scenario.
Yeah, JP kind of stole mine. I'm a big Mariano fan, so I'd love to sit down with him as well. But aside from him, I think it'd be wrong with a guy like Greg Maddux or Roy Halladay. I was a big Roy Halladay fan growing up, watched him all the time. But, guys like that who don't have overpowering stuff, but they can still have very good success, just because they know how to pitch, they know how to make their pitches move and locate. I think I could personally learn a lot from that. It'd be great to be able to pick their brains and kind of soak up some knowledge from them.
Now, guys, we hear a lot about the baby bombers, young prospects within the Yankees organization. What do you think that the Yankee fans don't really get to see behind the scenes between you guys? Like, is there something that we don't really know about the baby bombers?
I mean, a lot of the guys are the same as we are. They're all trying to do their best and work as hard as we can and learn as much as we can while we're here and able to play with these guys. I mean, behind the scenes, we just have a great group of guys. It's so much fun in the clubhouse, and I mean, in the lunchroom and everywhere. It's just we just have a great team and a great group of guys.
Yeah, I mean, outside, what you guys see on TV and in the games, we're just a bunch of normal 20-something-year-old dudes. Me and JP have a dartboard set up in our apartment. We literally play like 10 games of darts every night, and he usually smokes me, but it's fun. We like to play cards together, hang out. I'm big into Clash of Clans. I play with some teammates. So, just regular stuff like that. Off the field, we're just normal people. We try to connect with each other, and when you're around each other as much as we are, it's pretty easy. You really form that bond and those relationships. But yeah, it's good. It's a great group of guys, like JP said.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And before we wrap up the interview, let's go for some fan questions here. Favorite city to ever play a baseball game in?
Ooh,
you go first. You have better ones than I do.
Well, I mean, you can't really not say New York. I mean, it doesn't get much better than pitching in Yankee Stadium. With all the history and everything there. I'll go outside of New York though. I'd probably say I really liked Seattle. I liked the stadium there, and it was a nice city, beautiful scenery. So I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, for me, I would have to say my favorite place to play. I mean, I haven't been out of any like really big stadiums. I'm just basically minor leagues going. But I would say I liked Myrtle Beach a lot just because of the feel of the fans. I mean, the Cubs fans down there, it was good. When I was there in, what was that, 2015?
15,
yeah, 15 we were there. It was a fun place to play. And Myrtle Beach is always nice too. So that's probably my favorite place to go so far.
Okay. Favorite food you love to have to eat?
Pizza for sure. New York style pizza. Cheese, just straight cheese. It's got to have a really good crust though. Like, it can't be like thin, hard cardboard crust. Just light, fluffy crust with perfect mozzarella cheese. Doesn't get better than that.
For me, it's something that I'm probably, that most of America probably wouldn't agree with, but it's something that I get to go and actually kill for myself, like a nice venison steak or something like that.
Okay. I've never had venison, so should I go out and try to find some?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you wanna go out hunting and get some real venison and some, I mean, that's real meat. That's not just on a farm type of meat. That's something that you have to earn for yourself.
Well, I live on 150 acres, so maybe in deer season I'll go hunting for the first time.
There you go. That'd be it's a good time. It's a blast.
Now, of course, you guys are professional baseball players. In any other sport, what would you love to choose to play one professional game in?
I mean, I'm a huge hockey fan, so I can't skate very well, barely at all. But I would love to be good at skating and to skate on a professional rink because those guys are just amazing athletes too. So I think that I would choose hockey.
Okay.
I'd have to go with football. You know, I'm a huge Packers fan, so I'd like to be quarterback of the Packers for a game.
Okay.
You know, taking the field at Lambeau Field and getting to beat up on some teams would be awesome. Be a lot of fun.
Now, this is the last one here before we wrap up the interview. Most funny teammate to be around.
For me, it's Justice Sheffield. I mean, he's just a riot in the clubhouse. He's funny. I mean, he's young too, so he's got a lot of energy and he's a lot of fun to be around. And he's got a lot of good jokes. So for me, it's Justice Sheffield.
I'd probably have to say Jonathan Holder. He's a total Southern boy. I'm a total Northern Midwestern guy, so we're kind of two opposites. But you know, his sense of humor, we just kind of click well together. So he's always keeping me laughing. It's funny.
Now, as some of the viewers may be able to tell, is you guys have a lot of chemistry together as teammates. And what is something that you guys may not know about each other?
That's a good question.
Let's see. Did you know that I was in wrestling? I did wrestling for 1 year when I was in 8th grade.
I didn't know he was in wrestling. I couldn't believe that. Oh man. Let's see what would you not know about me? Man, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff.
The only thing, I mean, hunting and fishing, that's his whole thing.
Yeah, that's my life.
That's his deal.
Hunt and fish.
What's the biggest buck you've ever killed?
I just shot a nice 8-pointer. It was 145 inches this year. Is the biggest one I've shot. So,
all right.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive. Not that impressive. I've seen better, but not bad.
Okay, guys. Last question before we wrap up the interview. What does it mean to you being a New York Yankee baseball player?
I mean, for me growing up, from the Wisconsin area, a lot of people around our area didn't really like the Yankees. But when you see the pinstripes, you just have to respect them, and just because they're the most iconic franchise in all of sports, and just for me to be able to play in pinstripes and wear the pinstripes and be proud of it, it's just an amazing experience that all these Hall of Famers and future greats have played in the same jerseys and same pants that I'm wearing right now. It just means a lot to play in something that those guys have done before.
The first time I ever put on the Yankee uniform, the pinstripes, and walked out onto the field at Yankee Stadium, I just, got chills. It was absolutely unreal. It was one of those moments in life that you'll never forget. And, I think it's just as simple as that. Like, I'm just a normal person. I'm a normal kid who just loved the game of baseball, and I've worked hard at it. And, I've continued to persevere through challenges, but to think that my journey has led me to playing for the New York Yankees, just such a humbling thing because, like JP was saying, so many greats, so much history with this team and this organization and the players who've come through here. It's really an honor to even be able to put on that uniform and go play at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, definitely. And Ben and JP, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on my show tonight after the Yankees win tonight. And where can the fans follow you on Twitter to follow along with you guys during the season?
I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is benheller21.
And I'm also on Twitter. It's at JP Feyer 20. Okay. And that's the same for Instagram and everything also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. And I hope to talk to you guys later on in the season. I wish you the best of luck in this upcoming Yankee season. And maybe Chase for 28 is on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You bet. That's the goal.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Alex.
Great. Thank you, guys. Okay, Fuse Nation, I'll be back here live tomorrow at 3 p.m. with a former USA Olympian boxer. Thank you, Fuse Nation, for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Be kind to one another.